At the end of the year last year, we did what a lot of people do. We took a look back at 2011 and decided that we were going to take a look at what worked, what didn't work, what we should focus on, maybe what we should expand, and just as importantly, or maybe more important, we took a look at what we shouldn't focus on, what we shouldn't expand, and maybe even what we should eliminate. And we came up with something when we were talking, we were doing it around the round table, kind of brainstorming, that we found very helpful in giving us the focus for 2012. We looked at our business and realized that money, commissions, business comes from two sources: buyers and sellers. And then within those two, we need to generate opportunities to work with buyers immediately. In other words, someone calls in, they're financed, looking to buy a home and ready to go right now. And we also needed to build a database that built long-term opportunities for buyers or sellers. So immediate and long-term. And then what we did is we took each quadrant and we brainstormed inside this box. What were the things that we could come up with that would find us buyers immediately? What were the things that we could come up with that would find us buyers for the long term? The same with sellers. How could we have opportunities to list properties immediately? And over the long term, how could we build a database of people that we could eventually sell for? And then in each box, we wrote down all the different ideas that we had. In other words, here, open house, for buyers, we might say open house. We might say seminars. We might say door knocking. We might say cold call, FSBOs, ask them if they need help finding their next home, so on and so forth down the line. And then what we did is we ordered these in priority of what worked last year, what we felt we had the best systems for, and what we knew we could have success with. And then after we put them in order, 1 through 7, 1 through 10, whatever that was, we decided that we were going to do this. And that essentially left us one area to focus on. We felt like the open house on steroid program that we're working with and using here was our best opportunity to work with buyers immediately. And then over the long term, using our Craigslist ad, we've noticed that on Craigslist we're able to take that and the 10 days of pain and utilize those and build a big database. So internet marketing, because the 10 days of pain is actually a lead conversion, but that's part of that system of Craigslist. So advertising for buyers long-term. Sellers, we decided that was our FSBO expired call program. That leads to immediate appointments, immediate listings. And then long-term, we looked at our letters to those same people, to FSBOs and expireds. And everything else, for the time being, we've dropped off the wayside. That doesn't mean that through the year, once we perfect the system, or if we find that there's room for something else, we won't do it. That's not to say that we will ignore opportunities. But for us, this was a key exercise in finding a few areas to really focus in on and to get really good at and to concentrate all of our energies, rather than finding 5 things in this box here that made sense and would work, but we weren't applying our full abilities, our full potential to any one of those techniques. And by doing this, we really feel like we're going to have very strong results by focusing in just on this program, or just this program, or just this program. Each one of these quadrants where we gain money from, both over the long term and immediately, by focusing on one thing, we feel that that's going to really allow us to find what works and find what doesn't work in that one system, to test this, test that, make changes, track our results, and know when something works and improves it, and know when something doesn't work and leads to lesser results. We'll know exactly what we're working with. Our world's getting very small, and by doing so, when our vision gets really small, we're planning for our world to get really big. So I don't know if this will help anybody. This was a really good key thing for us, and I just wanted to reach out there and share something that we did that was working. And I'll tell you, we did this back in December, and almost immediately we've seen the results in January. By halfway through the month, we were able to achieve the pendings that we normally do in a month. So that was good, to see that jump up. that momentum. So it did work for us, and I hope that you've enjoyed this little bit of a video. Thanks a lot.